Alright, now I'll show how we're wiring the FlexWatt heat tape. First thing you gotta do is just cut it to the length that you want. For the snake rack that I'm doing, we're just cutting it to run the full length of it to run in the back of it. Then you need to take one of the edges and scrape off some of the plastic on both sides. It's kind of tough. We've already done some of it already, so we're just finishing the touch-ups on it. But just use a razor or something like that, something sharp. Scratch off that hard, clear plastic on just the metal part. And we take some solder and melt it onto where we just scraped it off. This is like priming the area to put the actual cord onto there. Once you've got the area primed, take part of the 6-foot cord with the female end cut off, split them in two, use wire strippers, and the way we're doing it, we're going to have it so that it attaches at an angle. So it will attach like that. So we're going to cut more off of the other end. That way it will run down through the back of the snake rack easier. Strip that end also. And now we're going to use the soldering iron and put it on there. First putting some on the actual wire. Do this on both sides. Then just set it down on there. After you put solder on both the metal on there and then both also on the wire, press it down with it. Now it's attached. Now just do the same to the other side. Remember, both of them were already primed, and then just basically touch it to there and melt it together. And there you go. Now you've got it attached. Now we need to use electrical tape and make sure that it's not a fire hazard, and close up all that area. And we're putting on the electrical tape. Be sure to cover all of the exposed metal there. Okay, now we have the tape on both ends there, and as you see, this cord, we cut it off because we are going to snake them together and attach them, make several levels of this running from one male part to attach into the outlet. We just trimmed this off, but in a normal case, it would just be this on the end of it, and you'd plug it straight in and it would warm up. But we're going to use this, splitting it like that, pull it apart a little bit, strip it again. We're going to do the exact same thing that we did there to another one. Okay, we've got these split. These are going to be, this is hooked up to there. We are splitting another one. This is just another piece of cord that we've already measured out. We're splitting it, and we are going to strip the wire there and twist it together with this one and solder both ends on to there. We're going to make a run of 4 FlexWatt heat tape, so this length, so it will run 4 different levels from one plug-in. And we found the length where we're going to cut those just like we did earlier, except we're doing 2. Okay, now we've got both of them twisted together, and we're going to start prepping the area with the soldering. Also, something important to do is to put some more electrical tape on the ends there, because the metal is exposed at the very end. So just put a piece on there, half on top, fold it over, and put the other half down on the bottom. We've got those 2 attached now, and we're ready to begin with the 3rd one, because we've got this part coming off of there. Okay, so here's our first one that we attached that you saw. Remember, we ran that to another one, and when we did that, we twisted the 2 cords together and used the soldering iron and attached both. Then we did the exact same thing here and just made it so this is the 3rd, and then we attached this cord to the 4th, but instead of just a pre-cut cord, we used the end of one of them to have the plug-in. We are also going to do this, and this is just the one that will have 4 altogether. We are also going to have one that will have 3, and then another one that will have 3. And then they will all go through the back of it and be plugged into the thermostat. Alright, now we've got all the FlexWatt heat tape wired. Now we need to tape it in there with the aluminum foil tape. Now we need to do the melamine edging. Okay, so here is the back of the snake rack. We've got it now cut out to the right dimensions, and I just finished doing the painting. The holes we drilled for the wires to come out, the extension cords that we adapted to it. I'll show you at the back of the snake rack now. We have all of the FlexWatt heat tape taped down. Here's the wiring. As you see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is the plug-in. This is another, the 1, 2, 3, and up there on the top one, we have the cord to that, and then the bottom 3. So that shows how we ran them together like that, and then they all go down here, plug into the extension cord or whatever. Eventually it will be plugged into the thermostat that I've bought for it, and the thermostat will mount probably right up around here somewhere on it, mounted on the side there. Also, now you see we've got the edging, the melamine edging on there. It went pretty well. It's pretty easy to use. You just iron it on there. You have to cover the clothes iron with like tin foil or something like that. It recommends to protect the actual iron. But the only problem I had with it was, can't really see it, it's kind of yellowish right there. The edge of it, it's a little bit bigger than what this is, so I need to trim it off still. I haven't done that. I guess I'll just use a razor and cut that down so it's nicely cut and flush with the actual board. But with the melamine boards, it's perfect. But for the 3/4 inch plywood, it was a little bit too big. over here. This is it in the package. Melamine Edging Bandit. Anyways, that's all we've got left from it. But it's almost done. We just got to get this back screwed on the back of there, run those cords through there, and trim the edging up there, and then we'd be done. Now we're using a chisel to cut grooves into the back of this for the wire to run through. Alright, so this is the back of the snake rack. As you see, we've got the back mounted on there now. There's those holes once again with the FlexWatt heat tape cords coming out. And they are just plugged right into the thermostat. The thermostat is one I bought from Big Apple Pet Supply. Here's the box. I've never used it before, so I don't know to recommend it or not. The reviews I read about it sounded like it was okay. For its price especially, it was one of the cheaper ones. So, that's the thermostat. And now I have to put the probe through. We put another hole in there. We just drilled this in after the back was put on, big enough for the probe to fit through. And it just goes through to the other side. Right back there. Now I'm just gonna take that, I'm sorry it's dark in there, gonna take it and tape it down directly onto the FlexWatt heat tape back there. It'll be taped directly onto there with more of that foil tape. Alright, so now we've got the temperature probe to the thermostat taped down with the foil tape directly over the FlexWatt heat tape. Something important for me to mention is that when placing the probe, it's best to put it generally towards the middle of the rack. Generally, it's going to be a little hotter towards the top because the heat rises and it's going to be cooler down at the bottom. So whatever it reads in the middle for the thermostat probe, whatever it reads there, it's generally going to be a little bit on the warmer side up there and cooler down there. Also, we just got these holes drilled in all the sides to add some ventilation to it. So that looks pretty nice. We just drilled them in there. As you see, got it in my room now. Kind of had to rearrange my whole room to get it to work in here. But it fits. It looks good, and I'm very happy with it. It's really big. Alright, so thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful to any of you out there looking to build your own snake rack. If you have any questions about anything I didn't really cover in the video, be sure to just leave a comment below and I'll try to get back to you and answer it to the best I can. Turned out really nice, really big. This thing is going to last a really long time. I highly recommend that you try to build one on your own. It saves a lot of cash. And below I will post in the description how much money it cost for everything. It did end up costing more than I had first predicted, but still a lot cheaper than you're going to pay to get a commercially made one. And it's fun to build. So that's my video on how to build a snake rack. Thanks for watching.